Hello and welcome to Tabletop Oddity. My name is Jay and today we're going to be looking at all of the new Star Wars announcements and thinking how these might impact Star Wars Legion. So before we continue, a couple of things. Mainly, a spoiler warning, I am going to be talking about pretty much every trailer, the main film, the Mandalorian, the EA game, and the Clone Wars trailers. Not in massive details, but I am going to go over them, and if you don't want to know anything about them, then click off the video. If at the end of the video you do like the video though, do consider hitting like, and if you're not already subscribed, please do consider doing that. If you're interested in Star Wars Legion at all, then please do. So yes, let's talk about them. We're not going to do them in any particular order, but we're going to look at each reveal or the big announcement and just think how this might apply to Star Wars Legion. And I think the reality is, in a lot of cases, it might not be a major thing that that happens to Star Wars Legion, at least in the imminent future. So we'll talk about the film first. Episode 9, Rise of the Skywalker. There's a couple of interesting announcements in that. The end laugh is obviously catching a lot of interest for sure. However, I'm pretty sure that that's going to be like a mild bait, as in that he won't really be the main villain. Oh, I say I'm pretty sure, that's a bold claim. I think he might not end up being the main villain. He might just be like a ghost or something like that, a force ghost. Essentially, episode 9 is an interesting one because in Star Wars Legion we are looking at the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. We've not really had anything from the First Order era. I'm not really sure what to call that era. I'm just going to call it the First Order era until somebody corrects me. If you have a specific name for the new trilogy that J.J. Abrams started, then let me know in the comments below. Obviously there's loads of stuff we could get in that Rey, Finn, the new Force Troopers, Phasma, the new Stormtroopers I should say, Phasma, Ren and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. However, this doesn't immediately apply to Star Wars Legion. When might it apply to Star Wars Legion? Well, we got new factions a year and a half after release, or at least that's what we think we're going to get them. So could a year and a half after that be when we get these new factions? Possibly. What happens if they do the Mandalorian and it's super popular and do they just concentrate on those factions or what have you, if there even are factions in the Mandalorian apart from the Mandalorian? I know what I mean, but it's a bit hard to explain. If we looked at a year and a half, when might that be? That would be what, 2021? March 2021, around Adepticon? I could see that. I'm going to put my Jason predicts March 2021 First Order and what they call the Resistance. Right? Okay, maybe. And until that point, which is quite a long way away, even it's 2 years away basically, are we going to get anything from here? Maybe not. How distinct will those factions be? Hard to say. We've got Stormtroopers, they're maybe a bit similar, but those characters are interesting. So I think the reality is not much is going to come from the First Order, the new era trilogy. I don't think we're going to really see too much about it, so we'll move on from that, and we'll stick with real life, like live action, and we'll have a look at the Mandalorian. Now this is a not as good trailer because it's somebody's filming this at Star Wars Celebration. The Mandalorian is obviously going to be the TV show around this Mandalorian, whoever, I don't know that is. I have just discovered today that Bill Burr is going to be in this, which is a very shocking reveal to me. All in all, this is looking really good. The fact that it's a TV show really allows itself to have a bit more, is that Bill Burr right there? Really allows itself to have more like freedom in what it does. It can spend more time building the world. I think this is exactly really what Star Wars needs, in my opinion. Like for somebody who generally likes long form TV shows, like Star Trek and stuff like that, this has really got my interest. Now, when is this set? Well, Mr. John Favreau, I don't know how you say his name, it's set, he says it right now, right, if you could hear that, he says it's set 5 years after the last film. What is the last film called? Episode 6. There we go. It's set 5 years after that, so it's before the First Order and the Force Awakens and that kind of stuff. It's in that period, so this is interesting. This could go either way. Really, they could put this as the Galactic time frame, or they could wait for the First Order time frame. So what you might see is maybe one of the characters or something like that get put in the original trilogy era. Probably not the Mandalorian himself, maybe some of the other characters, but you know, it's interesting. Let's just say that he's on the due back there. 5 years after it, is that too late? Maybe it's going to be its own era. Obviously, without seeing the TV show, we don't actually 100% know. But there's enough here for me to say that this might come to Legion before Episode 9 stuff comes to Legion. And I'm pretty happy. I mean, this is exactly what I would want from a Star Wars right now. So again, it's a maybe. We don't really know. And then we got a couple of other ones. To be fair, we got another one that's sort of set between time frames, and that's the EA one with the Fallen Order. Now, this trooper here is a very sexy trooper, I ain't gonna lie. I really, really enjoy the way that guy looks. Yeah, this is EA's game. I think it's coming out this year, which is set between the Clone Wars and New Hope, basically episode 3 and 4. Yeah, like, this is interesting. There's a lot of new material here that again could go in either or kind of universe. I think this is more likely to go into the original Galactic Civil War kind of time frame, which is good. It means that they've got something fresh there, and because that's like literally that is a classic Stormtrooper that we've just seen there. So definitely that seemed like it would fit that one. The Mandalorian one is probably a little bit up for debate, I think, unless people know for certain. But this to me looks like this would definitely fit with the Galactic Republic Civil War, the Galactic Civil War. And all in all, if EA actually managed to do a decent single player game, fair enough. I was never against multiplayer games. I'm just sort of against excessive microtransactions and stupidity. I'm not really against multiplayer games as a whole. I would have enjoyed if this had a little like 6v6 multiplayer add-on to it, but yeah, you can't lie, it looks interesting. He could, whatever his name, he could definitely be in as a Jedi for the Galactic Republic. The Rebels is what I'm trying to say. Sorry, the Galactic Republic. Sorry, I'm getting my own words confused there, but he could definitely be in for the Rebels, which would be interesting. He could definitely be an operative, something like that, Force operative. There's stuff they could do from this, I think, maybe. Obviously, there was a lot of stuff in the expanded universe anyway. They don't really need to touch this stuff. But, oh, look at that trooper. Look at him. Or her. Could be her. Don't know. And then there's really only one left, is there? And that is the Clone Wars TV show. Oh, well, I've got it here twice, but it doesn't really matter. The Clone Wars TV show, yeah, well, I mean, the clue's in the title there. That stuff could definitely be heading towards the Clone Wars. It depends what they do. Ahsoka seems like she's off. She's leaving the Jedi Temple. She's off. She's doing her own thing. Maybe now you could have two versions of her, an operative or the Jedi Padawan one or whatever it is. There'll be stuff in here for sure that we might see, and this is more what I expect to see for Star Wars Legion, because this fits the time frame of what FFG seem to be doing. They're doing Clone Wars with everything, so they announced Clone Wars to essentially coincide with the Clone Wars TV show, so it would make sense that things that are either in this or become more relevant in this end up becoming in the game, and we've got probably a year and a half worth of releases not dedicated to the Clone Wars, but at least revolving mostly around the Clone Wars. And I think that's where we're gonna be at. I think the Clone Wars is the most likely one. For me, it's a little bit weird that FFG and Disney thought, right, instead of our new films, we won't bother linking up with them. We're actually making the TV show, and we think that's more important for FFG to be making Clone Wars, everything to coincide with the TV show. Now, is that the case? I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know the business dealings behind FFG, but obviously X-Wing didn't have the Clone Wars. It didn't really have anything about the Clone Wars in it, so it makes sense for X-Wing to get that. And maybe just when they were in the negotiation about that, maybe they were just like, well, we'll put it in Legion and we'll put it in Armada, which has been announced recently as well. And yeah, then we'll go from there. But it's a little bit surprising that nobody said, well, what we could do is release the new factions for the First Order, etc. just the Resistance, in September, 2-3 months before episode 9. Mwahaha! Mwahaha! I mean, there's reasons maybe not to, because it would have been similar in terms of troopers and stuff like that, but I'm a little bit surprised they didn't do that, but maybe FFG and Disney wanted to link up with the Clone Wars factions because of the Clone Wars TV show, and this new series is obviously going to be ripe pickings for FFG to dive in and take whatever they want. So overall, the new big episode 9 film, not for a while until we get those factions, are we going to look at anything in there? I'm pretty sure that's going to be the case. The Mandalorian, set between episode 6 and 7. I think we need more information, but it could be an opportunity for them to take stuff and just whack it in for the original trilogy, just if they start running out of stuff. Maybe, who knows? Or they might just wait and put it in with the First Order. Or we might get a sub-faction there. That might be an interesting sub-faction. We might actually get Mandalorians. Not that that is actually going to be that linked to the Mandalorians, even though the name is The Mandalorian. We'll have to wait and see. Jedi Fallen Order, set between episode 3 and 4. At least I think this is right. Like that, I think that might open. That's more likely to open the possibility to the the Empire and the Rebels getting something new and fresh. So that could be interesting. And the Clone Wars is the obvious one that we were just talking about. So there's a lot of interesting stuff in there. New units wise, obviously everything that we see could be new units. I'm not going to name people, but that's how those games, TV shows, films might link to Legion. The answer, as I said at the start, might be not very much. Let me know if you think I'm incredibly wrong. Do you think, bam, yeah, we're going to get these new factions? No, the Mandalorian's going straight into the Rebels and the Empire. Just, let me know if you think I've hit it completely incorrectly. Let me know what you think's going to happen to these to this model range, and how you think these are going to apply to the model range. Well, I explained that really badly. What I want to say is, how do you think these IPs and films and stuff are going to apply to the release to the release cycle of Star Wars Legion? That's what I want to know. Please let me know in the comments. Other than that, don't like it. I've completely messed up this video, so don't like it. You can like it if you want. What you should do is subscribe though, and have a most beautiful day. And yeah, goodbye.